Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we have some new knives, some brand new knives to check out. Now, this is the Kaiser T1, but they recently just dropped a new MICARTA liner lock T1. Now, before we get into this, shout out to MOJAVE Outdoors for helping support the channel. I do have a discount code to MOJAVE Outdoors, so you can get all your Kaizers at MOJAVE Outdoors, and you can use my links below or just use the discount code Neeves Knives. Now, the MICARTA liner lock version, I already knew I was going to want one of these because the titanium frame lock model it's one of my favorite Kaizers. It is one of their older models, but it's just so snappy, such a strong detent. It feels high-end. It really does have a high-end feel to it, and it's done really well all the way around, all the way across the board. And you can sometimes get these for a really, really good price. Now, just like all the finishing work and the way it feels is just extremely, extremely well done. Now, the new liner lock version has some really nice micarta. It has a real fabric feel to it, kind of like the Kaiser Roach. If you guys have one of those, you might know the texture I'm talking about. Very nice in the hand. Then we have, again, just like the titanium frame lock version, nice strong detent. So it really kicks. Extremely comfortable in the hand. We have 154 cm blade steel, and it is coated. And the clip is a deep carry, more of a budget clip. And you see how it's kind of down here, not like in the middle. It's actually very comfortable in the hand, at least in my hand. My hand just kind of goes right over the top of it. I barely feel it, so that's a cool thing. And then they have the same style lanyard hole. Really good quality micarta, plenty of access to the liner, and it is very smooth. Extremely smooth, very easy to reverse flick. Thumb studs are very easy to access. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one because T1's just always been a knife I've really loved. Now, next, we have a new, this is a prototype, so this is the Null Knives. Now, you guys always yell at me about showing a knife and you not being able to get it. Well, guess what? 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, I believe. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm going to put the link down in the description. You will be able to pre-order one of these. So if you want to get one of these, they have a bunch of different versions. And there are going to be some subtle changes, but only to make it better. I will say this is extremely well done. Really good action. Oh yeah, and React is the OEM. Now, I would do a full review on this, but I wound up getting it late. I just got it, and the pre-order will probably be filled by the time I do a full review. If not, I will do a full review, but I just don't have enough time with it. But I will show you what I think about it and some little details. Now, like I said, there's going to be some small changes, but we have a beautiful harpoon drop point style blade. Some good thumb studs, but I do think they might possibly be changing the thumb studs just a little bit to make them a little bit more comfortable. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with these thumb studs. They work extremely well. They're positioned in a great place, and it has a really nice sound to it. A real hammer style sound, like where it really pops. You can really hear the lockup. Nice strong lockup. Now, come on, focus. We have a titanium milled pocket clip. The finish is kind of a blasted style finish. Not blasted, sorry. A fine, it's soft. There's no like blasted feeling to it, but I'm guessing it's some sort of satin or blasted finish. But it's very soft to the touch, nice and smooth. We have on the pivot, it has some dimpling on it. If it'll focus, let me back it up a little bit. I'll zoom in really quick. See how it has that dimpling on there? and then on the lock bar access as well. I really like that little touch. This little touch on the lock bar, that's really nice. Now, these come in multiple different colors. I also like the little details, like look at the lock bar cut out where the screw goes. Nice little touch, you know, I don't know if it really does much, but it might actually help for comfort when your fingers are wrapped around right here. It builds like a little, kind of like a stair step effect when your finger wraps around right there. Steel lock bar insert is nice and solid. It does have nice solid lockup. The jimping on the spine offers a little bit of texturing without adding too much. Now, this, where they polished the pivot, you can see it coming through. I'm sure the final versions won't have that. You can just see it on this prototype. This does have a very heavy acid etch finish, but there, like I said, there's many different versions. We have a full backspacer pretty much. Titanium backspacer with a lanyard pin. I kind of like the way they did that lanyard hole. And then the stop pin is a regular stop pin. Now let's check it out in the closed position. Nice placement for the closed position. It hits right here instead of right here, which I'm very happy with. Drop shut action, pretty smooth. Not like fall shut, but it's very, very smooth. I love the deployment. The deployment, like I said, has a nice kick to it. Once you break that detent, it does fly. This is very well done. And you can feel it's very well done. Now the clip kind of sweeps a little bit this way, and you can see how they lined it up with the corner right there. It's actually rather comfortable in the hand the way they do it. If I hold it back here, yeah, I can get a little pokey, but holding it just how I would actually hold the knife, my hand goes right around this this nice little ramped area right there, and it feels really good in the hand. So nice and comfortable, very well done. And like I said, if you want to pre-order one of these, you have at 8 o'clock to get on it. There's been a bunch of videos on it, so a bunch of people have done videos. I'm kind of late to the game on it. I got it kind of last, so otherwise, you know, I'd be going a little bit more in detail, cutting with it and showing you all that stuff. Next is an ST knife, or SITIVIEN knife. Now, I must have ordered this, but I thought I ordered the black one. They sent me this one. It is what it is. It's the ST126 and if I, you know, ordering it, I would have gotten the black one, so I'm guessing they just made a mistake. Now we have a flipper tab, fantastic detent. These SITIVIEN knives are extremely well done. Reverse flicking action is super solid. Now you don't have a ton of access to the hole, but the edge is nice and sharp, so it's super easy to do. And man, it's just so smooth. Nice lockup. Maybe a tiny bit of side to side. I'll tighten it really quick. Yep, there it's gone. Let's check the drop on it now that I tightened it. Still stupid smooth. Detent, no detent lash. Clean break, like you're not going to fail this whatsoever. Left-handed, it works equally as good, but it does not have a reversible deep carry clip. Beautiful satin finish on this D2 blade. Geometry, relatively good. And the ergos are really nice. This is just a basic knife, but it has amazing action. It's pretty solid. Lots of relief cuts in the steel liners, so it does bring down the weight. Access to the liner is really good. Easy to get past the detent, and it's ridiculously smooth. This is a very, very well-built knife, and I'm sure it's probably 30 bucks. Extremely affordable. Now, yes, I don't like, or no, I don't like the JG10, and I would want to fix that by dyeing it. And then one last knife. This one just came in, and it's another JG10. I do wish it was another color. Now this came from CMB Knives, and we have a new CMB Knives knife. It's kind of a sheep's foot spear pointish blade. I love the blade shape. Blade shape is really nice. Access to the lock bar is really good. It is pretty smooth. Now we have a front flipper and a regular flipper. So if you're wanting a front flipper, but you're not sure if you want one because you don't know if you'll be able to deploy it, well, this one would be a decent one to get because you can, you know, if you don't like front flipping action, then you have just a regular flipper. Now, the detent is going to be a small bit on the lighter side. I'm not saying it's too light. You can reliably flip it every time, but it has a little bit of a lighter detent. Now, it doesn't take hardly any effort to deploy it, so don't mistaken what I'm saying. People hear me say light detent and they take it, you know, they take it wrong. They have to do it a little bit lighter in order for the front flipper to be more effective. Now, it has a pretty strong detent for the front flipper. Works great. The only thing is that if you're up here, you're going to hit your finger with the flipper tab. So what I'd like to do is instead of going sideways like this, I will turn towards me. That way, for some reason, the flipper tab goes right in between your fingers, and it's really easy to do that way. Now, let's look at this finish. We have a satin finish on the spine, and then we have a blasted finish on the flat grind. It is D2 steel, so I'm not sure if that was a good idea. Satin finish all the way across, or another satin finish would have been great. Satin on satin. Either way, it's not that big of a deal. Just keep it oiled. It's just blasted finishes are the first finish to go to get rust spots with D2. But if you keep it oiled, you should be okay. Now we have a blasted clip. Not a deep carry clip, but it's a good functioning clip. Access to the lock bar is really good. Sharpening choil's decent. And it's a small knife. It's not a large knife. You have a lanyard hole. Lots of weight relieving. Comfortable in the hand. You do have a little small choke up spot. Mostly for me, I think it would be for my middle finger. You know, for like this. But you can put your finger there, you know, for small detail work. It's a cool little knife. And I know it's very affordable. So, very cool. I do like the look of it. I love the arch of it. It's going to be great for detailing work. And you have a little bit of belly for slicing. Nice area for push cuts. The geometries. It's a little thick behind the spine, but it's not bad at all. It'll be a good cutter. The spine is crowned, though, which is pretty cool. And the jimping, no. It's nice and smooth on the spine. Very nice. Now, when you unlock it, though, you are going to stop yourself if you put your finger up top. But what you can do is you can kind of, you know, mess with it and decide when you're going to let it down. And I can tell this is going to break in very nicely. Doing the reach around like this, your finger does kind of get in the way of the flipper tab on this side. Like that. So you gotta hold your finger out of the way, but you can definitely do it. It is on ceramic caged bearings, so. But yeah, one thing that's really cool is because of this finish, this thing is very easy to reverse flick. And I mean like very easy. So it offers a little bit of texture because the two different finishes. So super easy to spidey flick. And then also, you know, having a little bit of a lighter detent also helps that. And like I said, it's not so light to where you're going to be failing it. And I can tell, you know, the more you flip it and play with it, the better the detent will get, because the smoother the action will get. This is definitely going to wind up becoming basically a false shut action. Now the front flipper, again, I always say this, the jimping is great. I don't mind the actual jimping, but they should have went all the way around the front flipper. Never stop the jimping. Go all the way around. I don't know why companies tend to stop it. It's like then you have this slick spot on the top of the front flipper. Now this is easy still. I'm not saying it's hard to do, but it just makes it to where you don't have a slick spot on the front flipper. You don't slip off of it like right there. And this one, you know, you do have to, you know, be careful because it's a flipper and a front flipper. So you got to keep your fingers out of the way of the flipper tab hitting you right here. Not this one, this one. But it is pretty cool. And this is a budget knife. And look at that. I can even Spidey flick it left-handed like that. Very easily. I like the way they did the choil. Lockup is nice and solid. So yeah, pretty cool. And I like the crown spine. And no, I can't touch the tip. Nothing on the back. Very cool. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.